All of this cloning stuff has raised the profile of how the birthing process really works. I didn't know this, but doctors have been able to pre-select gender in babies for years now using medical procedures. Some people are opposed to that, but gender pre-selection is definitely here to stay. With us is fertility specialist Dr. Andrew Silverman, who knows all about this. We only have a short time with you, doctor, but tell me, so I can understand it, which, you're going to really have to oversimplify, how this works.
Basically, Bill, what's done is it's a combination of a sperm separation and insemination. In other words, the sperm swim naturally through laboratory chemicals, which, depending on the makeup of the solution, will enhance the recovery of male or female-bearing sperm.
So it's almost like artificial insemination in some cases.
Well, artificial insemination is definitely the part of the procedure.
Right.
But the separation of sperm is done
before the insemination.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, what are the odds of being successful here?
It's about 75%.
Wow, 75%.
Exactly.
So somebody comes in and says, I'd like a little girl. You can say, well, I can guarantee 75% success that you have one.
Exactly.
How much does it cost?
It's about $1,000 an attempt.
An attempt, and how many attempts do you really have?
The average is about 2 to 3 because human fertility compared to monkeys and apes is rather poor.
All right, so about $3,000 would be
reasonable.
Fine.
Exactly.
Why do people, is it more than vanity? I'd just like to have a boy because I want a boy. Is there anything else involved with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the two primary reasons, clearly the one that you point out, that couples have two of one sex and would like a child of the opposite sex, is those couples that carry a severe genetic problem in the family tree, like Duchenne's muscular dystrophy or hemophilia, which will result in disastrous consequences, specifically for the boys, because it's a sex-linked trait. Nevertheless, the daughters who will carry the trait or may carry the trait will be normal, so those couples would like a daughter.
All right, so sometimes there's a predisposition to a certain disease or a certain situation that the parents want to avoid.
Exactly.
All right. Now, ethicists, and some religious people, Catholics, have criticized you, say this is wrong, you're tampering with Mother Nature. How do you answer that?
I say everything I do is tampering with nature in a sense. I'm a fertility specialist in White Plains, and those couples that I help have children are rather desperate. So you could say, well, that's tampering. On the other hand, I could flip the question around and say, well, maybe the reason I was put here was to help those couples to begin with.
Anything happened that... I hesitate to use the word disaster, but can't this go wrong sometimes?
In what sense?
Well, where there is a medical problem. You're making it sound like it's a very smooth sail here.
It is, statistically. And in fact, those children that are born, and there are almost 2,000 in the world, born particularly by the Erickson technique, which I'm talking about, their rates of chromosomal or congenital defects are no higher than if the couples had the child by a more conventional route of conception at home.
So you haven't improved on it. It's just basically the same. So this is not genetic engineering where you're creating a certain super race, which people are afraid of.
Exactly, not at all. In fact, the risks are the same as a natural pregnancy.
Is it possible, and we have a minute left, that somewhere down the line we will be able to create a super race?
I don't think so, realistically.
No?
I think because the point is, and what everyone's concerned about, is that if you try and create exact copies or clones or whatever, then you take away the genetic variability of sex, which is an intermingling of traits of two individuals. And in fact, if you create what you think might be a super race, and in fact you have genetic copies that are identical, that individual may turn out to be severely affected by the latest virus that comes around the
we certainly don't know what the immune system would be or even the psychological makeup, but I think science will be able to isolate certain chromosomes and create what may be a Superman. Yes? Possible, physically?
Possible, but I doubt it.
All right, Doc. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Good night.
And coming next, celebrities